Welcome back, everybody. We're here, 2949 of the Cabral concept. If you want to follow along with today's questions, would love you to do so. Head on over to stephencabral.com/2949. And if you haven't already, pick up your copy of The Rain Barrel Effect, or for a family member, completely free. Yes, it's free. I pay for the printing. It's a little over $7 to print it. You just pay for the shipping, which is just a little over $7 to ship it. Comes right to your door, typically within 3 days. And yes, you can still get it on Amazon. That's totally fine. And of course, if you've read it already, I would love you to leave a review on Amazon. It means a lot to me. It helps to spread that message. Same for the podcast. If you haven't yet reviewed the podcast, but you've been a listener for a couple weeks or a couple months, if you could leave a review on your favorite podcast player, that would also mean the world to me. It does help the algorithm. It really does. The more reviews you get, the more downloads, the more subscribes, the more people get to see it. And so that's the goal, right? All right, let's dive into today's questions, all things wellness, weight loss, weight gain, anti-aging, everything in between. So let's get right into it today. Obviously, no medical advice, no medical diagnosis, no medical cures, nothing like that. We're getting to the underlying root cause. We're going to help people figure out what it is that's actually wrong with them so that they can heal once and for all, like I did, like many of you have as well. All right, Sarah's up first. Hi, Dr. Cabral. I'm a 27-year-old female, been suffering with UTIs, urinary tract infections, and yeast infections for years now, as well as low hormones like estrogen, progesterone, testosterone, plus high cortisol. I've had acne since 20. Previous hormone tests showed heavy metals in liver not detoxing properly. On research, I've seen Candida and parasites go hand in hand. And there is an order to cleanse and healing. I don't have any funds to do multiple tests. I already tried a bunch of things for urinary tract infection, still dealing with issues, want to heal for good. Where do I start? What do I tackle first? I'm taking a biofilm disruptor, probiotics, planning on trying antimicrobial herbs again. Might try castor oil packs, coffee enemas, unsure of how to do a parasite cleanse. All right, happy to help. So, I want the community really to help me. This would be really helpful for me because, sometimes you're in your own. I've been doing this now for 25 years. Has it been longer than 25 years? No, about 25 years. And so, all of this information is available. And, there's podcasts on it. There's all sorts of things. But this would be really helpful for me. And I would love you to leave it in the comments, especially on YouTube. If you're following along on YouTube, we're really trying to build our community there too, because I think it's very powerful. Because you can comment, right? You can leave a comment and we can read those and we can actually respond. We can see what people are saying. How can we make it easier? What do people need to find out where to start? What's a good way? How can we get this to someone like Sarah? I really would love to know that because I've talked about it before, but that doesn't mean that Sarah knows where to find that podcast or really where to begin. And there's obviously so many questions. So it's how do you do that? I would love to get your feedback. All right, let's help Sarah though. So if you can't lab test to find out if you have parasites, candida overgrowth, bacterial overgrowth, etc., here's what you do. This is the starting protocol for basically anybody that knows they have gut issues, knows they have health issues. We do a 21-day functional medicine detox. You can find that at stephencabral.com/detox. That sets the stage. That empties the rain barrel, and you already start to feel well after 21 days. Phenomenal, right? Okay. Teaches you about intermittent fasting, adding more of a easier to digest meal plan, all these great things, meal timing, blood sugar regulation, hormone regulation, sleep, all those great things. Okay. So stephencabral.com/detox. Then if there are parasites you think, we move on to that. So you can all these things are at stephencabral.com/shop. That takes you over to EcoLife. That's my virtual functional medicine practice. So just type in parasite protocol, all right? Or para support protocol, because you can't say parasite. So then you do the para support protocol. Then after that, you do the CBO protocol. And the CBO protocol helps balance yeast and bacteria. CBO protocol, stephencabral.com/CBO. Then after that, you finish with the CBO finisher, which heals and seals up that gut wall. Tremendous, really tremendous. Now, at that same time, hopefully you're reading The Rain Barrel Effect and you're working on stress because you have high cortisol, right? We're improving sleep, and then the hormones begin to balance out because you can't just give someone like Sarah estrogen and progesterone and testosterone like doctors like to do. No. Sarah at 27 years old should be able to produce her own normal estrogen, progesterone, testosterone. The reason why Sarah isn't is because her stress hormones are too high. So then that pushes down on one side of the lever and the sex hormones go down. Testosterone, estrogen, and progesterone. So what we need to do is not just give her more of those sex hormones, it's actually reduce the stress hormones. So then we use something like Adrenal Soothe, one at lunch, 2 at dinner. And we use full spectrum magnesium, 1 at lunch, 2 at dinner, plus the liquid melatonin or the sleep help support if we need to get a good night's sleep. All right. So Sarah, hopefully that gets you started. And then again, I want that feedback. I want to be better for our community. I want to be the best for our community. And I'm willing to commit whatever we need to for that. I just need to know how to get better so I can teach people like how to get their question answered without having to wait like Sarah did, 6 weeks or 8 weeks or so. Okay. All right. Kay's up next. Hi, Dr. Cabral. I can't thank you enough for the rain barrel effect. It has changed my life. Thanks, Kay. I'm happy to hear that. That's why I do what I do. I mean, I just do my best. I have a goal that it's simply, help one person every day. That's it. I learned this, that an acronym from Jen Gottlieb, and she basically just put up hope. She's like, listen, start small, help one person a day, hope, the hope formula. I was like, oh, I love that. I love that. And it's great for all of our IHPs. All our IHPs are worried about having 10,000 followers. You don't need 10,000 followers. Start with 100 followers, help one person a day. It's amazing. I love that. All right, Kay's up next. I'm wondering what your exact protocol for mercury removal dental fillings. For context, I ran the big 5 as I have candida and very sensitive gut and psoriasis. I wanted to know the root cause before starting to try to get pregnant. I came back high on mercury and aluminum, running 3-week functional medicine detox and then heavy metal detox. I'm coordinating with an IAOMT dentist. What else should I know and would like to about getting pregnant in the future? Okay, so I have a podcast called How to Have a Happy and Healthy Pregnancy. I definitely recommend checking that out. That's free, of course. You're doing the right thing. 21-day Equilife detox followed by the heavy metal detox. That's exactly what you want to do. So that's amazing. You also, if you can, want to do one other thing, and that is an infrared sauna 4 to 5 times a week for 30 minutes a time if possible. That's what you want to do. So that is the absolute, there are all sorts of other little things you can do, but 21-day detox, open up those detox pathways, then the heavy metal detox, and at the same time, sweat, ideally through an infrared sauna. My favorite infrared saunas are at stevencabral.com/resources. Great job, Kay, though. I appreciate you checking that out, especially given all of the research I just did over the last week on heavy metals and pregnancy. So good for you. Appreciate you. Nicole's up next. If my son becomes a patient of yours, can you cure his EoE? Okay. So EoE is eosinophilic esophagitis. Not easy for me to say. Eosinophilic esophagitis. So what that is it's inflammation of the esophagus. The esophagus is what, when you chew food and swallow, that's the tube that goes down to the stomach. So eosinophilic esophagitis, first of all, we don't cure anything, right? So I just want to state that up front. Unless you are a licensed medical doctor, you can't use the word cure. The word cure doesn't exist in my vocabulary. I can't even say it properly. Okay, so what I do is I help people with everything that's written in the Rain Barrel Effect. I love people to start with the Rain Barrel Effect because it's one book on exactly how I've been helping people for many, many years. And we helped, when I wrote that book, we were nearing in on 250,000 people that we work with. So now it's well over 300,000 and it's well over that. I mean, and I'm just talking about health coaching. I'm not even talking about, people that have done the detox, which is hundreds of thousands. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about direct in our practice. So can eosinophilic esophagitis be corrected? Absolutely. It's literally an inflammatory response from an imbalanced immune system, typically the Th2 side of it. That means that there are food sensitivities, gut issues like parasites or yeast overgrowth or bacterial overgrowth or H. pylori. There might be viral-based issues. There might be heavy metals. There's something that's triggering an immune-based response and causing that inflammation. Our job is not to say, oh, we cure EoE. Our job is to say, let's find out what's causing EoE. Let's fix that, the underlying root cause, so that this inflammation in the esophagus can't exist. Now we don't need that fun name, eosinophilic esophagitis, right? Because that's just a medical name we give to it to try to sound smart. But what is it? Inflammation of the esophagus, the tube that you swallow food down. That's what we should say. You got inflammation. Because if a doctor said that to you instead of saying eosinophilic esophagitis, you said, oh, you have inflammation in the esophagus. If they said that like a normal person, then you might ask, well, why do we have the inflammation? Right? Why does my son have inflammation? That's the next question, but that's why they don't say it like that. So we find the reason for the inflammation, we fix it. And you don't have to become a patient of mine. You know, what you can do is you can work with an integrative health practitioner level 2. You can work with a team member of mine. It's far less expensive than working with me. Or you can just run the big 5 and you can actually look for the imbalances, and then we can give you a personalized plan and a health coaching call with that. And you can find the big 5 at stevencabral.com/big5. All right, let's get to one more question today. It's from Kelsey. Kelsey says, hi, Dr. Cabral. Have you heard of mucous membrane pemphigoid? I don't even know if I'm pronouncing that correctly, but I know what you're talking about. I'm asking on behalf of my dad, who's been struggling with swollen limbs, lesions on the inner bottom lip, and extreme sensitivity to anything citric acid based. He's referred to a specialty dermatologist by our amazing biological dentist. Any additional info, things to do, avoid would be awesome. Thank you. Oh, actually, this is a little bit different. Mucous membrane pemphigoid is usually like boil-like lesions in the crevices, like the elbows, behind the knees, around the neck, like any folds. That's typically what more of that is. Again, I can't give you a diagnosis, of course, but what you might be talking about more is a mucus retention cyst, because I had those when I was younger. My oldest daughter used to have them when she was younger. And yes, it is reactive on citric and acid, pineapple, lemons, apple cider vinegar sometimes. People have a sensitivity to those specific things, which cause this mucus retention cyst from that inflammation, which I think is actually based on, again, theory here, hypothesis, I think it's based on the actual oral microbiome. I believe the oral microbiome may have too many anaerobic bacteria. Biological dentists would be able to teach you about this as well, versus aerobic-based bacteria. So for these individuals, we actually do oil pulling, like mouth oil pulling. We use a good probiotic. We work on the gut health if they need gut health based work. So, for my daughter, we actually did a parasite protocol. She didn't have any parasites that I saw, but we still did it. And we did the child version of that. We have children's protocols for all of these. And we did a modified CBO protocol, the children's CBO. We used a probiotic, and I'm just trying to think what else. And then we did oil pulling, and she actually didn't mind the oil pulling at all. And now she very rarely, if ever, it's been at least 2 years since she's had one, but she used to get them when she was younger. I did too. I used to have them. I had a lot of health issues, so we can't go by me. So hopefully that's helpful, and that's what I would look at. All right. Thank you, Kelsey. Thank you, everybody. Appreciate all of the downloads, all of the listens, all of the reviews, all of the shares. It means the world to me. I'll be back tomorrow with a brand new Mindset and Motivation Monday. Take care. Thanks so much for tuning into today's show. Before you go, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. I want to make sure that you're getting our daily content, not missing out on anything functional medicine, wellness, weight gain, weight loss, anti-aging, living longer, stronger, and all of the most cutting-edge research. And if there's any topics you want to hear, feel free to leave them in the comments below. Take care.